Hello, welcome to VA Inspires, and today I want to talk to you about reading. We always know the importance of reading, and there's a phrase that says leaders are readers, or readers are leaders. However you want to put it, but it emphasized the importance of reading. It emphasized the importance of getting an education, getting information from anywhere you can, because there is so much to learn. Our school curriculum only covered just a little. So someone who just leaves school and quits reading and quits learning new information is gonna be handicapped as years go by. So even when we come down to the nitty gritty, which is the reading, right? You've decided to read. You've made a decision to read. How do you start? It's like walking into a Library of Congress, seeing thousands and thousands of books, even knowing that if you lived 1,000 years, you couldn't read them all. And every day, new books are always coming out, new genres, whatever you call it. So how do you handle this? How do you handle this overwhelming pressure, overwhelming of information, overwhelming in loads of data? An advice I got from an audio program I was listening is very vital. It said to start with our language. Gosh, how true is this? Because when you learn your language, you learn how to communicate better, which is business. Like business is just communication. Knowing how to communicate better, knowing how to, persuade, all of this deals with the words that we use. So starting with learning a language, in our case, it would be English. Because not many people understand the importance of learning the language very well, learning how to speak fluently, learning how to pronounce words right. It's very important. Because many tests, many surveys has been done with graduating classes and with people on the top levels in business, and these people have a very great command of their languages. Again, in our case, English. Chief executives are very good communicators. Why? Because they know the words, they know the language. Sure, illiterate people, sometimes there are millionaires who can put, two sentences in the correct order. If modern in English was a misdemeanor, they would be on death row. But they have private jets and airplanes. But these are outliers. They are outliers. In most cases, the use of the language is very important. It's very vital in our success and happiness. So that's the important first step when trying to, start reading. We start to read and study the English language. Second is our area of interest. Our area of interest being what we choose to do for a living, what we choose to do as our career. If you're an engineer, you should get books on engineering. If you're a doctor, wow, books on medicine. Read and study. Reading in this area is for profit. We should read for pleasure also, but it's mainly for profit. For pleasure, we could get lost in a good novel, get lost in a good story that could, help us indirectly with our main goal, which is our work, our area of interest. But we should have excellent libraries on the things we are focused on, the things we want to do. I have a lot of books on, life coaching, motivation, inspiration, and psychology and sociology, and I'm still even getting more. Because the ones I read recommend me other ones, and I check them out and I read. I also have, things that I read for pleasure that also educate me at the same time. Excellent novels such as The Thunderbirds, Atlas Shrugged, all of these towering novels and all these stories, they also help me illustrate, the meaning of life. My recent read right now, it's Man's Search for Meaning. I've heard a lot about the book. I know the story, but I'm really getting into the book right now. And it's so great. And you could, set a schedule. Start with 15 minutes a day or less. No matter how busy you are, you could find 15 minutes. The only requirement is the will and the desire to read. With that, you can find 10 minutes no matter how busy you are. So that's it. That's what I wanted to share with you, and I hope this message finds you. And it's been helping me a lot, like in my language and my vocabulary, because when we learn new words, we tend to add other words. And that's part of what reading does for us. And it also expands our horizon, expands our thinking. Because once we expand, we cannot contract because the things are there and they're there to stay. So thank you as always. And I hope this is very educative for you. And I hope you put it to work because that's what this whole idea is all about. It's in the labor. Thank you and stay inspired.